Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Dr. Barb Fox, holistic veterinarian in Northeast Iowa. Today I want to talk to you about something that I see as kind of an alarming trend in the veterinary medical field as well as the human medical field, and that is where these practices are relying a lot on test results rather than a comprehensive physical exam and detailed medical questionnaire. I think a couple of things are happening that has made this trend more prevalent, and there's a couple reasons here. One would be short-staffed clinics, very busy practices that don't have the time to devote to that kind of physical examination. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that that is just an observation. The other thing with COVID in 2020 and into part of 2021. A lot of practices were forced to go to curbside service, meaning that there wasn't that face-to-face connection and that interaction between the client and the veterinary staff and the veterinarian. So the other thing that I would add into the equation here is that test results they generate a lot of revenue for the clinic. And oftentimes practices will start with test results and then do a quick physical exam, where I am convinced it should be the other way around. So the best way that I can give you an example of this is with a little 8-year-old French bulldog named Lucy. Now Lucy is owned by Bruce, and Bruce is my sister-in-law's father. So I know Lucy pretty well. She's a very energetic little Frenchie and just adorable as can be. And a couple weeks ago, Lucy went out to potty, and when Bruce went to call her back in, he noticed she was licking the snow where a garbage truck had just left. And he was a little concerned why she was licking the snow, but it didn't dawn on him until he saw Lucy shaking, trembling, and Lucy didn't want to walk. He had to go out and pick her up and bring her back into the house. That night, Lucy didn't want to eat. She still was trembling. She didn't want to jump, on the couch. She didn't want to play with her toys like she normally would. So Bruce was really concerned and got an appointment for Lucy at her regular veterinarian's office the next morning. And I don't know whether they did curbside or not. I don't know what actually transpired during that conversation between Bruce and the veterinarian, but Bruce was given a bill for $400 for x-rays and blood work and an anti-nausea medication. Oh, yeah, and then a special canned food, a prescription canned food for gastrointestinal upsets. Well, Lucy continued to not want to move, and she was very lethargic. And 24 hours later, I'm having a conversation with Bruce. Bruce was concerned about her and just wanted to know what I thought. And after I started digging deep and asking some questions, like, what does she look like when she does this? Probably all the things that just pop in my head, I started asking. And it was apparent to me that this was not a toxicity issue based on the blood work and her clinical symptoms. I felt like she probably slipped on the ice and injured her spine, her lower back. Once we started Lucy on a holistic protocol for the next 24 to 72 hours, she completely snapped out of it and was back to her old bouncy self very fast. So my whole point in telling you this is when we have a situation that looks like one thing, it takes close observation and experience to discern from what may else be going on. So if you feel like your veterinarian isn't listening to you, if your veterinarian isn't taking the time to answer your questions, is not doing a full physical examination, find another veterinarian. Your animals are too precious to you to not. There are a handful of us holistic practitioners, probably more like a big group that I don't even know about, that will do online consultations. I do those. I work online with people over the telephone, whatever it takes to get their animals. If you need a second opinion, you need a holistic approach to something, that's what we do. And we are allowed to do this through telemedicine, which is beautiful because telemedicine means that you can send me your digital x-rays, your pet's blood work results, whatever has transpired, the whole medical record, in fact, that can be sent by email. And then we can set up a consultation to talk on the phone where I'll get a lot more detailed information. And then I'll put together a report on what your animal needs to start with. If that doesn't work, then we tweak the protocol down the road. I feel like this is a service that is very important because a lot of places, you're not going to find that, a lot of places that you can have these types of telemedicine consults with veterinarians. If you want to know more about what I offer, please check out my website, which is barbfoxdvm.com. That's barbfoxdvm, stands for Doctor of Veterinary Medicine.com. And if you go to the homepage and click on a link that says coaching, you can find out how to set up a consultation. And I would just encourage you, again, if you don't feel like you're getting the service that you need, to find a different practitioner. So thank you so much for joining me. I am passionate about helping animals with natural health protocols. So if you're looking for something like that, please give a shout out and we'll connect. All right, thanks a lot, and give your pets a hug every single day.